Everybody knows the Roman Empire. A civilization built on war, power, and, well, a whole lot of seriously. These guys weren't just expanding their borders, they were expanding their body counts. If you think that modern society is wild, Rome would make your local Oktoberfest look like a church gathering. Now get ready, because we are diving into the scandalous, twisted, and downright ridiculous world of inside the Roman Empire. So, the Romans had a, let's call it an open-minded approach to It was everywhere, on their walls, in their entertainment, even in their gods. But was it all the wild and or was there more to it? Turns out the answer is yes and also no. Let's get into it.
Chapter 1. As a public affair.
Imagine walking through the streets of Rome. Vendors are yelling, gladiators are prepping for battle, and oh, look at that, a painting of two people going at it like their lives depend on it. The Romans weren't shy about
Wanna
Sure, why not?
In fact, it was so normalized that brothels had literal menus with paintings showing customers exactly what they could buy. What a time to be alive. But it wasn't just brothels. People were everywhere, on wind chimes, jewelry, walls, and even on sidewalks. The fascinum, I hope I pronounced it correctly, was a magical amulet which was supposed to ward off evil.
Chapter 2. The laws of lust.
Don't get it twisted. Rome wasn't some lawless, fueled madhouse. At least not officially. Adultery? Illegal. Augustus, the family values emperor, passed strict morality laws that punished cheaters and rewarded people for having more kids. Meanwhile, the same guy was apparently sleeping with everyone in his inner circle. Hypocrisy? In ancient politics? Never. And let's not forget the Lucretia incident. According to legend, she was raped by the king's son and then killed herself out of shame. What the f***? But at least her death sparked a revolution and the birth of the Roman Republic. That's right. Or more accurately, literally changed Roman history.
Chapter 3. Fact or exaggeration?
When people think of Rome, they imagine wild, candlelit orgies where everyone's going at it. And while yeah, some parties were basically the Olympic Games of most of these stories come from historians who were exaggerating. Because even back in the day, nothing gets clicks like a scandal. But still, Emperor Tiberius allegedly had a pleasure island where he trained young boys in erotic arts. This sounds kinda similar to a modern day scandal. Isn't it right, Jeffrey? Oh my god, I'm really having trouble reading that script. But anyways, then there was Elagabalus. This guy made Tiberius look like a vanilla. He allegedly married multiple men, offered fortunes to doctors who could give him a and hosted parties where guests were smothered with rose petals. Like, chaotic bisexual genderbender energy doesn't even cover this.
Chapter 4. The oldest profession.
And of course, wasn't just accepted in Rome, it was an industry. But I think same thing today. This never changed anywhere throughout human history. So there were high-end courtesans for the rich and street-level workers for the everyday plebs like you and me. And prices varied, but let's just say you could buy a decent night out for the cost of a loaf of bread. And if you were a slave, yeah, you didn't get a choice in the matter. Not everything was fun and games. And even back then, the state taxed and even registered. It didn't even matter if women, men, or everything in between. If you were you were absolutely taxable. So it's safe to say, the Roman government knew how to make money out of everyone.
Chapter 5. Same-sex relationships.
Rome actually didn't have gay or straight the way we think about it today. It was more about dominance. If you were the one giving rather than receiving, nobody batted an eye. Even emperors like Hadrian had their famous lovers, like Antonius, who was basically Rome's ultimate before meeting a very tragic end. Hadrian was so obsessed he turned the guy into a literal god. He built statues, cities, made a whole cult. This guy was absolutely grieving, what the f***. And what about the ladies? Female same behavior was way less documented but not entirely ignored. Thank God. The poet Martial mocks women who take on male roles in bed. There were rumors of women with orgies with priestesses and even a few laws cracking down on female deviancy, aka anything that did not involve a dude. Maybe. Probably. In toga parties? You know, some senator was crying into his wine about that one. At the core, Roman sexuality wasn't about who you f***, it was about how you f***, and whether you kept your status while doing it. Sex was power, and power was everything in ancient Rome. So, was Rome a sexually liberated utopia or just an empire of horny hypocrites? The answer is yes. From the moralizing laws to the secret the Romans proved one thing. History might change, but human nature? Nah, that stays the same. If you enjoyed this dive into Rome's history, hit that like button. And if you don't, I'll send Hadrian's ghost to make you his ultimate and I'm sure you don't want that. Subscribe for more history, and I'll see you in the next one.